This weekend, we're celebrating Memorial Day and celebrating our veterans and all their service they did for us, and we're thankful for all their service and all those who are no longer with us. We live in a changing world. It is our choice to label this change good or bad. Let us choose to direct our focus away from the changes in the world around us and place it on God, through whom all goodness flows. This great nation rests its foundation on the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness for one and all. Liberty rests her feet in the foundation of our nation. Where the Spirit of God exists, there is liberty. There is no person, place, or situation that can rob us of our inner liberty except us. We choose God. We choose the liberty of the indwelling Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Carol. Now let's stand together and sing I Believe in Music.
Well, I can just sit around making music all day long. As long as I'm making music, I know I can do nobody wrong. And who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop their fussing and fighting just long enough to sing along. I believe in music. I believe in love. I believe in music. I believe in love. Music is love, and love is music, if you know what I mean. People who believe in music are the happiest people I've ever seen. So clap your hands, stomp your feet, and shake your tambourines. Lift your voices to the sky. God loves you when you sing. I believe in music. I believe in love. I believe in music. I believe in love. Music is the universal language. Love is the key to brotherhood, peace, and understanding, and living in harmony. So take your brother by the hand and sing along with me. Find out what it really means to be young and rich and free. I believe in music. I believe in love. I believe in music. I believe in love. Now clap your hands. I believe in music. I believe in love. I believe in music. I I believe in love.
Thank you, Don, for getting us started in such a beautiful way every week. Now we're going to say our mission statement together: empowering spiritual growth in an evolving world. We should have it memorized by now. I don't know. Does anybody want to stand up and say it all alone right now? No? Okay. Me either. I can't say it, and I have the sheet in front of me, so that's pretty bad. We do it every week. Welcome to Unity of East Louisville, and wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And if you're new today, I don't know if I see any new faces, but if you're new today, we hope you got a welcome packet. If you're new watching us online, we hope you'll come and join us in person sometime. And if you're not feeling well at home, we send you love and healing energy. And thanks to everybody who made today possible. Les is getting a day off back there on the sound, so Charlie's taking over for him, and Bob's doing the tech. Thank you, guys. And we have our lovely ushers and greeters back there greeting you with a smile today. We have Don doing music and special music today, double duty. Thank you, Don. And we have a great team of Rebecca Girasitano and Elaine Wood speaking today on honoring the love. Because it is Memorial Day, they asked that, hopefully you got the flock note message I sent out about bringing a picture of your loved one to bring up front and put on the altar here or the table there. So if you've got one and you haven't brought it up, please feel free to do so. Thank you for doing that for this weekend. We appreciate it, Rebecca. And let's see, if you haven't already done so, please do turn off your cell phones. And today, I'll give you your quick little joke, and then we're going to have our greeting. And we've got a new hardcore rule of 2 minutes today, so you'll be watching. There's a timer, apparently, I've heard, that's going to be, and then the lights will go out and you'll have to sit down. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so just watch the timer. That means you can't really get lost in all your fun talks. I'm sorry about that. It's not there yet. Oh, darn. Okay, so you can go over this week and nobody will notice. Okay, all right. All right, thanks, you guys. Okay. Before celebrating a baptism, the deacon approached the young father and said solemnly, "Baptism is a serious step. Are you sure you're prepared for it?" "I think so," the man replied. "My wife has made appetizers, and we have a caterer providing plenty of cookies and cakes for our guests." "I don't mean that," said the deacon. "I mean, are you prepared spiritually?" "Oh, sure," came the reply. "I got a keg of beer and a case of whiskey." All right. Greet each other and love and joy this morning, just for 2 minutes. right, that's probably 2 whole minutes. When you make your way back to your seats, we're going to sing again. I release and I let go.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God.
The daily word today is memorial, and we're doing the one from tomorrow because this is what we're celebrating today. With gratitude, I honor those who have served and sacrificed. Today I remember the ultimate sacrifice of those who gave their lives in service. I take time to solemnly appreciate their dedication and commitment so I could have the freedoms I enjoy. My remembrance and appreciation extends to those dear to me who have passed on. Through my memories, these special ones are still alive in me. Like a fire that never completely goes out, a glimmer of connection remains. Knowing their souls live on fills my heart with comfort. I think of how I can use my time on earth to honor those who have served and those whom I have lost. I endeavor to live in a way that honors them, their unique qualities, and the inspiration that they have given me to follow their example. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body. Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. 1 Corinthians 12:13.
Our Creator, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For Spirit is in this very room.
So now, just for a few minutes, we get to leave behind the chaos and the news and the phones and the internet and claim our peace. Peace in the chaos. And that's why we're here to claim, just for a few moments. So we're told that after a long day of teaching, Jesus and his disciples set out sail across the Sea of Galilee. And it's very common on that sea, a furious storm threatened to swamp the boat. Terrified, the disciples awakened Jesus, who was sleeping. And he simply spoke to the wind, "Be still." The wind ceased, and there was great calm. Our outer lives may feel as if we're swirling in a storm. Chaos, conflict, disease, greed, destruction, and hate sometimes seem overwhelming. But it's in this our inner selves, that we find our peace. The choice is ours, the power to choose peace and calm and blessed assurance. Be anxious for nothing, we're told. So now we simply choose to go within to our space of peace, a sacred oneness with the divine. So I invite you to quiet the outer and choose your sacred space of calm of this communion with the divine. Release the need to fix and control situations, conditions, and other people. There's nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do, and no one you need to accommodate. The infinite source that breathes you and orchestrates the universe offers this peace. It is your choice. Peace, be still. Your sacred space may be a quiet seashore with gentle waves washing up on the white, warm sand. Maybe it's a clearing in the woods where the trees enfold you in their quiet calm. Perhaps your space is in the mountains where you're surrounded by ancient energy. Wherever you are most at peace, safe, and in communion with the most holy, this is your gift, a reminder that you are a spiritual being, eternal and beloved. Now simply be in the silence. So now returning to this physical place, you know the peace that passeth all understanding. The outer chaos may continue, but your peace is eternal, always waiting, always ready. For this ever available peace and calm, we say, thank you, loving Spirit, and so it is.
I'm going to do a little rearranging up here. We didn't notice this earlier. And while I'm doing this, I've got the words for special music in the PowerPoint today because we're going to do a couple of patriotic songs. And I've sung this song in church my whole life. But I looked up the verses online and discovered there are a lot more than I knew about. I didn't put all of them up here, just the ones I thought were most appropriate for today's celebration. But please sing along if you want. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love and mercy more than life. America, America, thy God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you. Thanks for singing along.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who is dressed appropriately in red, white, and blue. And I will tell you that as we get near July the 4th and the 250th anniversary of our country, you will be expected to wear red, white, and blue. Okay. So last Monday evening, I was in a Zoom with Val and Laura. We were talking about the Love in Action. Things were going to reorganize and get going. And Val laughs and says, by the way, Elaine, you need to do Sunday talk. I'm going out of town. I said, oh, okay. She says, you know, it's Memorial Day and you know all that patriotic stuff, so you'll be fine. It's like, well, okay. So we went on and talked about Love in Action. So she did mention that, thankfully, Rebecca is going to be talking about veterans. So, and about all that patriotic stuff, yeah, I guess I'm the girl. So I will tell you that I have a slight addiction to genealogy. It's kind of like having a slight addiction to heroin, I guess. So through my genealogy, I have learned that I am a direct descendant of 17 patriots who fought in the Revolutionary War. So, and from that I've also learned that I'm a direct descendant of veterans of the Daughters of the War of 1812. So of course I had to join the Daughters of 1812. And I'm also a descendant of quite a few ancestors who fought in the Civil War, so I had to join the Daughters of the Union. So, and in these organizations, it is patriotic. We honor veterans, we preserve history, and we serve veterans, and that's what all these organizations do. So, today, I saw the title, the original title for today was something about the illusion of peace. And I said, I got nothing. So my normal, no matter where I'm speaking, what I'm doing, whether it's here or at a conference or whatever, I always ask Spirit, what is it I need to say? Because I don't know. You tell me who needs to hear what. So I got to tell you what we're going to talk about today has nothing to do with the title. So what we want to say to start with, the nation which honors and respects its dead shall ever be respected and honored itself. Well, that's a pretty big challenge, but I think we do it. So these are just a few of what I have discovered of those I honor. To the far left is a plaque in the Fleming County Courthouse, and that's one of my 17 patriots. His name is Philip Helfenstein. I had never heard the word Helfenstein, believe me. And his father is Major Peter Helfenstein, who's buried in Norfolk, Virginia. And he was a bud with George Washington. In the middle is another patriot of the Revolutionary War, Private Samuel Ney. He's buried somewhere in Indiana. And to the right is a certificate from the Valley Forge organization that certifies that my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, James Shirley, spent the winter at Valley Forge. So today you're probably going, wow, Memorial Day, picnics, I love cookouts. Please, God, make it be sunny. So May is called Armed Services Month. And I cannot tell you how long the list of stuff, of events, that as a daughter of all these organizations, I should be at. So it's exhaustive. And even today is Flowers of Remembrance Day. And there's organizations across the country of volunteers who place flowers on the graves of veterans. So this has actually happened on Friday, that active military go to Arlington National Cemetery and place flags. But today there will be flowers placed at the tomb of the unknown soldier, and I have umpteen friends who will be at Zachary Taylor National Cemetery, which has 11,000 veterans here at home, and they'll be placing flowers. So, what are all these holidays where we honor veterans? Armed Forces Day is the third Saturday in May. Well, that was actually kind of yesterday. Again, flowers, memorials. Veterans Day is November the 11th, and that's when we honor everyone who has served in the military, the naval, or the air service. Now, to qualify as a veteran, you have to have served for 60 days, 6 months or 90 days in a conflict, and you must have an honorable discharge. And Memorial Day, that's always the last Monday in May, and that honors all the service members who lost their lives in service to our country. So Memorial Day recognizes and honors and memorializes those who've lost their lives in service to our country. So originally, Memorial Day was called Decoration Day, and it was issued, this declaration called the Memorial Day Order was issued by Grand Army of the Republic Commander-in-Chief John Logan in 1868. And it was that we should go place flowers on the graves of Confederate soldiers. And he was a Union guy, and that's what happened. Was for years and years, Decoration Day was, and I can remember my mother talking about Decoration Day, and they went to place flowers on graves. But in 1996, it was a congressional resolution officially recognized this century of Decoration Day actually was a memorial. So it was proclaimed by President Johnson that May the 30th would be the day that we would celebrate and honor the veterans. But now you're all this is why we get to have picnics tomorrow. The Uniform Monday Holiday Act legislation that was enacted in 1968, became effective in 1971, designated Memorial Day as a national holiday and moved it to the last Monday in May. So we get to have our picnics. So how does this relate to unity? Always have to do that. Well, it's about honor. We honor as a verb. We live in honor, and we act in honor. Charles Fillmore, our founder, taught that aligning one's thoughts with God reveals inherent glory and honor. And this elevates the soul, unlocking the spiritual facilities necessary to manifest true abundance and health. So he said honor was not his worldly praise or status. It was the expression and recognition of the what we went to do. It respects and honors. He also said this: the value of all service lies in the spirit in which you serve and not in the importance or magnitude of the service. So it's about intention, and we've been talking all year about intention. This is what matters. Whatever your contribution is, you do it with honor. So Rebecca's going to share her insights on what it means to be a veteran.
Good morning, and thank you for being here to honor our veterans, those who've served and those who are still serving. So Reverend Val approached me a couple months ago about sharing my experience as a veteran, and I told her I'd think about it, but instantly I thought of my grandfather, and I knew I had to share his story. So my grandfather's name was Lieutenant Frederick J. Hunkler. He was a Marine and killed in action in World War II at the Battle of Iwo Jima, March 10th, 1945. And 19 days later, my mother was born, his only child. So he is one of the almost 7,000 that were killed in Iwo Jima, but one of about 111,000 that were killed in the Pacific alone, and not including Japanese. These were all like Navy, all the different services. So I'm not here just to talk about the tragedy of war, but what it does to our psyche. And do we believe that it's a necessary evil, or is it the physical and spiritual evolution of humankind? I tend now to think it's the latter, that we are evolving in these ways, not just on a personal level, but as a world evolving. I found a short statement in an article in the Unity magazine written in August of 1915 by Charles Fillmore. He speaks of how Americans are writing to him, and this is during World War I. They're writing to him, they're very sympathetic about the raging war in Europe, and they're pleading with the Fillmores to establish peace with prayer, petition, and treatments. He acknowledges, and I'm paraphrasing him, of course, he acknowledges that there is a natural response from all sane people, for universal peace, a peace that cannot be broken by ambitions of any nation, and that it will only be established when men see the insanity of war, and only until certain deep-seated errors are eradicated from human thought. So Charles Fillmore clearly understood that until humans evolve and change consciousness, we will inevitably have war. But until then, we need to honor those whose life paths ended and continue to end with war. We must honor those who were courageous and brave to fight for America's freedom. And in later wars, in what they thought was our freedom from the wrath of foreign governments. So those who were drafted at one time didn't have a choice when they were, during the draft. So it was just a few years ago, a cousin of mine brought a letter to us, to our family, and it was written by my grandfather, Freddie, as family members lovingly called him. In the letter, he was writing to his sister, my cousin's mother, Aunt Mary Ann. The letter was so full of positivity and humor, kindness, love, and respect for his sister. And in his kindness and his telling of being on a ship, not knowing what the next few days would bring, I saw bravery and courage like no other. He did not write of fear, nor about making it back home. He was hopeful for his family and his wife and unborn child. But reading it, I somehow saw deep down that he understood that this was his mission, his life path, and then he may not survive. And of course he did not. It was only a week later after this letter was written that he was killed in action. When I was younger, my mother spoke of my grandfather, stories she had learned from her aunts and grandmother about his personality and his kindness. Also, the grief of my grandmother that she experienced when he passed. I was only a month old when she passed. Some said from heartache, from losing the love of her life 18 years prior. I was very proud of my grandfather, who he was and how he died for our country. And since I was not sure how to navigate my own life, I decided to enlist in the Army, which I did for 3 years. I was in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and then Fort Bliss, Texas, and then later a unit in Germany. I was 20 years old at the time, and I had ideas of serving my country because that's what the commercials showed us on TV, right? Be all you can be. Yeah, you remember those commercials? But I could also honor my grandfather and in some way keep that connection of family that I missed out on. So looking back, I now recognize that I was following a deeper path, one shaped by my desire to serve others. So when I heard that commercial, it just got to me like, oh, I can be somebody, to help others. So although I was not fully aware of it at the time, this urge to help and support fellow human beings was always present. As my spiritual journey unfolded, I became increasingly aware of how important being of service has been in my life and career. So my military occupation, or MOS, was a 64 Charlie, a truck driver. Because of my love of travel, I thought I could train in the Army, and after 3 years, become a civilian truck driver, traveling the United States to see the sights. I was first assigned to a military intelligence unit in Fort Bliss, Texas. And though I sometimes drove trucks, they did put me in the truck maintenance office as a maintenance and parts scheduler specialist. But I was very well trained and the only trained truck driver in our unit for maneuvers. So at one point, our whole battalion went to Germany to reenact versions of World War II training practices. So I spent many nights standing guard out in the dark forest in Germany with only a flashlight and a red lens to see by, because we didn't want to be detected. One proud moment I had was when our unit was on a convoy. So our whole unit was driving in single file through the German countryside. And up ahead, a truck driver jackknifed his truck trying to cross a bridge. Because no one else could help him get out, they came to get me, which I was easily able to get him out. So I was very proud of that moment. So I enjoyed the camaraderie. My Army brothers, as I called them, were protective of me, and they let me know when some military intelligence was learned that might affect me. So one evening they told me to lock my truck doors. That's where I slept during Reforger, in my truck. I had a sleeping bag, but I didn't know my doors locked until that moment. So that was good. Because there was going to be a war, so a reenacted war is what was happening. I was a bit scared and excited. I heard rattling on my door throughout the night by possibly someone trying to capture me. I remember getting up in the morning and seeing someone from the other side of the conflict, the enemy. They were tied to a tree and being interrogated, and he was in tears. And that really made a huge impression upon me. Of course, which further deteriorated the glamour of it all. I had considered staying in the military as a career, but as my third year approached, I had just had my first daughter. We lived in Germany, and I knew I didn't want to be deployed away from her. So as time went on, I realized I did not like war. I did not like that we had to solve our problems with war and killing others. I also understood, though, the deep pain our family and others have endured and the great loss of so many. But I came to learn from my spiritual training and experiences that we each, and as a whole, evolve, and that we're all living in the time we choose and were made for. And that those veterans whom we are honoring today, they somehow knew deep down that this was their mission and life path as well. And so I honor them all. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Somehow I just cannot picture you driving a truck. So what did Spirit tell me I need to talk about? What do I need to address? I got nothing, and now it's Wednesday. And I'm thinking, I still got nothing. So I was on Facebook, which I don't do very often, and lo and behold, Marianne Williamson, one of my favorite authors, speakers, has a new class she's starting on reverence. I went, that's it? So reverence is a feeling or attitude of deep respect, awe, and honor. Reverence involves a humbling of oneself and respectful recognition of something we perceive to be greater than the self. I thought, well, I have certainly experienced reverence, but I never really thought about it. So awe, what is awe and how is it different? Well, awe is that feeling of passive, momentary feeling of being overwhelmed by greatness. While reverence, it's active. We are consciously engaged with, and we feel a moral responsibility and an outgoing attitude of respect. So reverence reminds us of our oneness with the sacred. And then awe reminds us that we are part of something so much greater, something eternal and infinite. It's so far beyond the earthly experience. Because at some level we remember we're spiritual beings having an earthly experience, a human experience. But have you noticed that we need to feel reverence? So this is why we go hiking, and Carla leads hikes, why we go to the mountains, why we camp. We are so innately called to experience reverence. Excuse me. So and if you've not noticed that national parks now, Yellowstone, the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, they're being overwhelmed with people. And at some level, They know they need to go, but they don't know why. Now, there are some who are walking around there strictly to take selfies, and that's a whole different ballgame. So it occurred to me that we as humans, with all the stuff going on, we have to find a state of reverence. So as civilization has advanced, and I'm not sure advanced is the right word, we've somehow often lost our sense of reverence and awe. We've covered the earth with concrete and skyscrapers, and we've cut down the trees and replaced the touch the earth, how we used to live, with let's build some more, let's cover up some more ground and get out that pavement. So I believe there are 3 states at this moment in time of human beingness, B-E-I-N-G-N-E-S-S. Now, this is an observation, it's not a judgment. I think there's a group of humans who are totally separate. They have no sense of their connection with the sacred. They're empty and they're desperate. They're ego-driven and they're trying to fill that emptiness with more. More money, more stuff, more power, more control, more gold paint. They never have enough. And remember, they're still spiritual beings here on earth. They're just having this experience. So the second group of people are searching. They know there's something else out there they need. They're somehow disconnected, but they're looking for something that fills that void. They're always looking for the fix. So sometimes it's one of the will fix you religions. Sometimes it's a superficial relationship, or it's a guru, or books, or more self-help, but it's a sense of looking. And, you know, every one of us here went through that on our way to unity. And then there's a spiritual oneness group, and I think we're part of that. We know we're connected to the sacred. We know that life is a prayer, and we live in gratitude. So because of this reverence, we demonstrate it. We have moments of silence, whether we're in here in meditation, whether we're outside just in a walking meditation. And in those places of reverence, we're very quiet. We speak with a very quiet tone, as if we know the sacred shouldn't be disturbed. And we live with profound awe and respect. So some of my experiences, this reflects on exactly what I was referring to. Meaningful human life relies on ceremony and ritual, but without reverence, those rituals are empty. True reverence pertains to aspects beyond human influence. You can go to the Grand Canyon, and if you're not in tune with the sacred, you're still going to feel something, even if all you're there for, you think, is to take a selfie. So these are some of the places that I've found to be the most reverent. Arlington National Cemetery. Has anyone been there? It is awesome. It's not even an exact word. It is beyond that. The reverence of Arlington National Cemetery is just profound, and the awe. So this is 639 acres where more than 400,000 veterans are buried. It was established on May the 13th in 1864. It's actually the home and the land that was confiscated from Robert E. Lee. And it overlooks Arlington, or it overlooks the Potomac River. And it is truly awesome. And this is the tomb of the unknown soldier. And it's one of those places of undescribable reverence. Have you been to the Vietnam Memorial? So my first experience there was probably 30 years ago. And I was speaking at a conference, and I just left because I'd never been to D.C. And so on this tour, we were taken to the memorials. I could not go near the wall. The energy was it was just overwhelming. And this would have been not 20 years after Vietnam, so the energy was still profound. This wall contains the names of 58,330 veterans who lost their lives in Vietnam. And I don't think, to this day, I don't think I could go back there. So this is my favorite, the Grand Canyon. And I've been there gazillions of times. You know, Bruce and I had homes out there, and we were the official Unity tour guides. So a few years ago, we asked Pete and Carla, come out to Sedona with us, we'll show you around. Carla had never been there. So, of course, Sedona is breathtaking in itself. The rocks are more reverence. So we'd been taking her back in canyons where tourists don't go. Only the Black Hawk helicopters and the men in black are, literally. And so we said, we're going to the Grand Canyon. Carla says, I don't need to go to the Grand Canyon. I've seen Sedona. Bruce and I laughed and said, nah, I think you need to go. So we drove up there, and, you know, again, if you've never been there, it is a hole in the ground, but it's 200 miles long and 2 miles deep. And it is, again, it's reverence, pure awe and pure reverence. So Carla walks up, and it is, you walk to the edge, and you look down for 2 miles. And there she stands, crying, which is the normal reaction for most people when they go to the Grand Canyon. So there was 4 of us standing there crying. But that is the greatest connection. So you are so connected to something greater than we are. So I found a quote that says, reverence is also a kind of radical amazement, a deep feeling tinged with both mystery and wonder. Absolutely. And I thought this was interesting. Approaching the world with reverence, we're likely to experience awe. There's awe walking in the woods, or just going for a walk by the beach. So, of course, Charles Fillmore had something to say about reverence. Reverence is a vital spiritual attitude for developing Christ consciousness. It anchors faith, it keeps the mind connected to spirit, and prevents thoughtlessness. So, you know, we are so missing reverence right now in our world, because keeping faith and being connected to spirit is just so missing at this point for so many people, and thoughtlessness is the prevalent behavior. So it's not because they don't know, it's because the feeling is just deeper and covered up with something else. So this is more Charles. There's one unmistakable message in the spiritual practice of reverence. Had you ever thought of reverence as a spiritual practice? I hadn't. Because everything is touched by the sacred, everything has worth, everything is holy. And of course, if you know Martha Creek, one of her favorite sayings says, so what isn't holy? So spiritual, and there was one of the first titles of the talk today, which I read, talked about spiritual peace is not an illusion, is an illusion. Well, my spiritual peace is not an illusion. It's mine. It's not a pretense. It's something that keeps me grounded. So it's the inward condition and the outward reflection of living with reverence and appreciating awe and seeing the grandeur in what's out there. So this Memorial Day, we honor those who've defended our country against invaders or those who would destroy our way of life. So I hope you find a renewed sense of reverence when you walk out today. Go talk to a tree. My favorite tree's in the backyard. His name is Arthur. He's an ash tree. But we share a bond, and I feel a deep sense of reverence just being with Arthur. So I hope you find a renewed sense of reverence and a communion with the divine. So I will close today with one of my favorites. And this is something that we say in almost all my patriotic lineage associations. It's the American's Creed. It was written in 1917 by William Tyler Page, and it was accepted by the United States House of Representatives in 1918. I'm not sure what that means, but how it was accepted, but anyway. And it says, I believe in the United States of America as a government of the people, by the people, for the people, whose just powers are derived from the consent of the governed, a democracy and a republic, a sovereign nation of many sovereign states, a perfect union, one and inseparable, established upon those principles of freedom, equality, justice, and humanity, for which American patriots sacrificed their lives and fortunes. I believe, therefore, it is my duty to my country to love it, to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies. And so it is.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. Sing with me. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Wow, that was one of the best Memorial Day weekend talks we've ever had, and songs. Thank you, guys. Thank you, speakers. Thank you for sharing your story, Rebecca. Thank you for the music, Don. Everything was wonderful. Now it's time to take your offering in your hand as we say the blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
We're thankful here for these blessings that contribute to our spiritual community, knowing that all is good. Amen.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for your offerings that help us continue our mission, going out into the world and spreading love and unity, right? That's what we're here for. A couple of announcements. I'll try to keep them brief. Please do sign up for the Daily Word or opening prayer. As I was saying last week, we really need some volunteers. That would be great if you could do that. Let's see, coming up this week, we've got all kinds of things going on the rest of the month. There isn't much left of it, but lots of activity. First of all, today is the last day to vote for our Hope and Compassion charities. So if you have not voted, please do fill out a ballot, and I believe there's a basket back there with the sign on it. And please do put that in there because we're going to count up the votes today. So that's really important. That's what you donate to at the end of each month. And then this next Saturday, the 30th, is our first Unity Walk of the year at the Big Four Bridge at 9 o'clock. All the details are online and on your weekly email. Carla is leading us. May 31st has all kinds of activities too. It's the spring cleanup right after church. If you can stay and help with that, bring your gloves and any equipment you might have and clothes that can get dirty if you need to. And then Carol Cloud's husband is also we're having a memorial service for him, again at the Big Four Bridge, I believe it is, right after, I think it's 2 o'clock on Sunday. Let's see. And then the ladies' lunch is this coming Friday at Selena's, and Elaine will be leading that. I think there's a sign up in the back. And then we're starting small group dinners again. Colleen is organizing that for us. Please use the sign-up sheets at the back and sign up to host if you would. You don't have to do it at your home. You can, meet at a picnic park area. You could go to a restaurant. You could do a dinner theater, whatever you'd like to do. Any ideas for getting us together? Let's see. And then just look on your weekly email because Don has a great band and they do summer concerts all during the year. So look on the weekly email to see that and see where he's going to be playing next. And what? Posters are back there too? Okay, well, we're just going to advertise for Don all over the place because we love him so much. We missed Friday because it rained. Yeah, you had to cancel that one. Okay, now we're going to stand and say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now we'll join hands and sing the peace song.
Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and now it begins with